All right, in this video, I'm going to be reviewing factoring. That was from the Chapter 5 material. And really, I just want to work all 5 of the factoring questions for you. So the first one is really just a basic factoring with a coefficient of 1. When you go back and revisit this, try to just do what you learned to do when we first did this. We really worked hard to just learn how to unfoil. So no factoring by grouping and all that hard stuff. So we would just take the 24 and we would think about the factors of 24 that could potentially give us a 2 there in the middle. And so out of this group, I would say the 4 and the 6 is what it would have to be. And we need it to be negative. So I'm going to put a negative on the 6 and a positive on the 4. And then I just kind of do a quick check to make sure that works. And I notice the negative 6x plus 4x does give me the negative 2, and I do get a negative on the 24. So then I'm convinced I got it. Okay. Now number 11 looks like it's going to be a cube problem because you see a 3 right there, but it won't be because there's a common factor. So the big thing on number 11 is remember to factor out the GCF, okay? Remember to factor out the GCF. So on this one, see there's an X common. There's also numbers common. So you have to look and notice that both of those are even. So you could factor out a 2 along with the X. And then what would be left would be a 64x squared minus 9. Okay, and you kind of double check that when you distribute, you really get what you think. And then you have to factor completely, so you're going to break that down more into 8x minus 3, 8x plus 3, because it's a difference of squares. And then that's your final answer. Okay? All right, with number 12, there's a common factor. 14 is 2 times 7. 2 won't go into everything, but 7 will. But there's not a y common, so you're only going to pull out the 2. What's left would be, I said it wrong, you're only going to pull out the 7. Okay. 7 would be common. Pull that out, and then what's left is 2y squared plus 9y minus 5. All right, then at that point, you would try to factor further. And 2y squared would be 2y times y. And then the 5 would be a 1 and a 5, but if you put it with the 5 here and the 1 there, that's not going to wind up working because that would be 5y, and that'd be 2y, and a 5y and a 2y can't turn into the 9 like it needs to. So what you're going to wind up doing is putting the 5 here at the end and the 1 here, and make the 5 positive and the 1 negative. And once you do that and multiply it all out, you'll get your, you check it. You get your 2y squared plus 10y minus 1y minus 5. And that's what it was supposed to be. Okay. So it checked. You got what you needed. So this would be your final answer right here. Okay. All right. Now, remember how on 11 it was not a cube, even though it looked like it to start with? Because there was a common factor, and once you factored it out, what's left could be broken down more. Well, number 13 has a cube, and you can't factor out an x, so it really is a cube problem. So that means you're going to use that formula that tells you how to factor it. It says a cubed minus b cubed is going to have an a minus b, and then a squared plus ab plus b squared. And the part that you had the most trouble with was figuring out the a and the b, okay? So first you got to rewrite this so you know what's really getting cubed in each case. So the x is definitely what you're going to plug in for a, but you plug in a 5 for b, not 125. So then you're going to do x minus 5, x squared plus 5x plus 5 squared, and then that really would be x squared plus 5x plus 25. So that's your final answer right there, okay? because that x squared plus 5x plus 25 won't factor anymore. All right, then on 14, this is 4 terms. So this is where we did factoring by grouping, either with the box or without, okay, the regular way. And either way is fine. So if you like the box, you put in your terms. Okay, and then what you're going to do is pull out the greatest common factor in that top left corner. So that's going to be the 6r. And then after you figure that out, the rest of it is going to be done thinking about length times width. So this side would have to be 4r. So when you multiply the length times the width, you get 24r squared. If a 6r is up here, then this has to be a 9y. So these two become 54ry. If this is 4r, this has to be negative x. And if that's negative x and this is 9y, it gives us the negative 9xy that we need. Okay, so that tells us that our answer to the question would be the 6r minus x in one set of parentheses and the 4r plus 9y in the other. And that would be your answer. Okay, and it doesn't matter whether you put the 4r plus 9y first or whether you put it second. Those of you doing the regular way would look up here and pull out the common factor between 24r squared and 54ry. So you'd pull out the 6r, then what would be left would be 4r plus 9y. Then you'd come over here and factor out a negative x. You'd want to take the negative out along with the x so that what's left is 4r plus 9y. Then the 4r plus 9y, the thing in parentheses can be factored out, and what's left is 6r minus x. So you get to the same end result. Some of you were fine doing that. Others used the box. Either way is okay. All right. So that's factoring. Quick review. All right, let's stop sharing this, and we'll move on to quadratics in the next video.